According to the press, YNW Melly gets bonded on 1 out of 6 of his total charges, in case you missed it. Since the courtroom would later reveal the documents showing his $500,000 bond, he has been held for 2,295 days without a bond or a guilty charge, despite the previous mistrial. Even led to Melly's mother speaking outside the courts on Instagram Live.
We just still praying. I know I said I would I'll keep everybody updated with what's happening. I know right now we're waiting. So basically the judge is going to do, I guess, a written order. So we're just waiting, and that order can come any minute, or it could come tomorrow. I don't know. So we're just waiting. We're just waiting. So everybody just keep praying, keep having faith. Oh, Tessa, stop. I've been crying too. It's been a long time coming, you know.
That boy Melly is coming home. I feel it. Melly's football team. While his lawyers were drafting, Melly's team proposed posting an unsecured bond that his record label, 300 Entertainment, would pay if it was accepted. The judge was promised home arrest, a 24-hour security guard, and an ankle monitor to keep an eye on Melly. It would then show YNW Melly walking into the courtroom.
Good morning, this is on State of Florida versus Jamel Demons. Present is Mr. Demons. Mr. Demons, can you hear us?
Ellie provides a fantastic bond bundle. They had evidence that W.W. Kelly was not being treated humanely in a prison, his mother declared right away. It is illegal and goes against Mellier's rights.
When you saw Melly's statement, just saying how he's been hurt, how he's scared for his life, as a mother, how did that make you feel?
It's heartbreaking. It made me feel completely helpless. Broward Sheriff's Office definitely needs to be investigated. I mean, they are making up their own rules. We've tried to go to court about this situation. The judge really doesn't have any jurisdiction when it comes to the jail, because we actually had a hearing about the mistreatment of him, and the jail they make their own rules. And I don't think that's fair, because I know that they need to answer to someone too.
YNW. Melly's first trial evidence is then used to try to persuade the judge that she is not a flight risk. The First World War would be proven. GPS information shows that Melly raced down the street and then hid in a bush during the event, proving that he did not conduct the alleged crime because his iPhone was in his pocket the entire time.
That would be the part where he's saying that someone just shut the car up and was trying to shoot him. So I asked him if he was okay, where he was, and he's like, there's a car coming behind him, like hiding. He was like, there's some, yeah, there's some, I think they're still out here or something. So I'm like, are you okay? He's like, I'm okay. I said, well, where are Sack and Juby? And he said, I don't know if they're in the car. I think they're...
The claims that it was a real drive-by were then verified by no firearm was ever found during the first trial. It was decided this person most likely grabbed the weapon and ran.
So the first thing is I didn't have a firearm, so I can't know which firearm I'm going to use in order to replicate any of my tests. So I can't make tests for this determination because I don't know what firearm was used.
Okay.
The case was then irrevocably changed when the prosecution prepared and filed newspapers. The main subjects of discourse are W.W. Bortland, Melly's best buddy, and Mariah Hamilton, his ex-girlfriend. Immediately explain. Documents were filed for W.W. by the prosecutors. Bortland and Melly appeared together at the next trial. There is only one awful cause for all of this.
Issue here, and you can try them together. It is to the benefit of the state to try them together. It's just more efficient. You don't have to do things again and again. Do it all at once, and also you get a better chance of having them incriminate each other during the trial. It benefits the defense to sever it. That way they can point the finger at each other and get away with it. So this is what's going on. But I don't think it should be automatically severed because the state is seeking a penalty for Melly, because it's only the penalty phase of the trial that would be different, not the guilt phase. The guilt phase is the same. They're both capital crimes. You're seeking the penalty on one, not the other, but that goes into the second part of the trial, the penalty phase, only if Melly is found guilty.
Knowing that he wasn't responsible for the crime, Bortland would naturally burn the remainder and be more likely to accuse YNW. That way, he wouldn't have to sit there and live out the rest of his days behind bars. Melly. At the first trial, in case you didn't know, Melly had already been exploited by his lawyers. They tried to hold YNW responsible. Land of Bortland in Portland's absence.
Those were his lies. Cortland Henry shows up at Memorial Hospital, Miramar. You don't see him sitting there, but where you will see him sitting is in the driver's seat of a car with two bodies, car riddled with bullets. And when he shows up with a change of clothing, change of shirt, powder residue on his hands, evidencing that he had discharged a firearm. And he lies. He lies about where the incident occurred. He lies about how it occurred. And he lies about not having a phone. I think it was Miss Bradley herself who said, everybody has a phone in his pocket, not Cortland Henry.
Bortland had a young bag chaser, had powder-covered hands, and had lied to federal investigators about their premature deaths, according to Melly's attorneys. They also hired a forensic expert who had dealt with the deaths to hold Bortland accountable for the powder residue.
So the right hand of Cortland Henry contained 0 particles characteristic of powder residue and two component particles. And the left hand contained 1 particle characteristic of powder residue and 1 2-component particle.
Okay. And can you explain to us what that means?
Basically, overall, there was powder residue present on the hands.
This was not at all appreciated by him. As a result of Nelly's mistrial, a report was distributed. Bortland tweets a mysterious statement on the day Melly's mistrial is revealed. It said, "Mind games don't work on people like me." To exacerbate the situation, the prosecution included Mariah Hamilton, Melly's ex-girlfriend, along with the handshake emoji, which represents consenting to a deal.
Mariah Hamilton is spending her first day at the Broward County Jail. She has no arrest record until now. U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested her at Miami International Airport Monday after she arrived on an international flight. Court records show Hamilton was ordered to testify in Demon's first trial in 2023.
When she was freed from prison, she would share posts on Facebook about my village. "Thank you for my village, and I love you all. The design is his, not God's." Mary Mariah, the judge, would say, "You can leave if you agree to testify against Melly." Mariah found disturbing information concerning Melly's unwillingness to testify in court in her iCloud account, which Melly immediately accepted. This was the worst news YNW Melly could have heard. The fact that she acknowledges it was YNW is witness manipulation. Melly will be sentenced to life in prison regardless of whether he removed Sack Chaser and Juvie.
State filing 6 new charges against Demons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a 2-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a conviction.
He would also face the same prison sentence for the witness tampering allegation because it would be separate from his present conviction for the murders of Sack Chaser and Juvie, as if they take witness tampering very seriously. Because of witness manipulation, Melly has also been unable to use a phone during her several months in custody. In one interview, Jamie King, Melly's mother, disclosed that the county jail had refused to give her a phone because things had grown.
My son has not been convicted of anything, and even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone. They have a right to just to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail, they don't give it to him.
On the other hand, They have refused Melly access if it is true that he was blocking witnesses by using the jail telephone. The feds most likely have the evidence concealed until the trial begins, since it is the most frightening element of all. They wouldn't just prevent Melly from using the jail phone if they thought he was doing it, because that would lead to lawsuits for millions of dollars. But furthermore, the prosecution had a chance to present their case and argue for Melly's prolonged incarceration. Kindly inform me which side has more solid proof.
PZ Gambino account asked him if he was okay, and his response was, "I did that," and placed a smiley face emoji.
And the next message from 10/26/2018 at 16:02 from Eastern Standard Time. The YNW Melly account says what?
After that, SHHHH.
Melly's phone was also found to have a Facebook Live recording of her and Bortland's reaction to the murder, which was made barely 6 hours after it was committed. I don't think you're depressed.
Melly still turned regardless of what happened this early morning. He's still out here being very positive. Turned still. Hey! No, still turned, regardless of what happened. You already know.
They are not grieving the loss of their two greatest friends, but a fresh piece of information has recently come to light. A rogue member of Oblak said that YW Melly's refusal to split the money with the other YW members was the driving force behind the crime.
Did Vaughn really tell you that Melly told him that he was two friends?
He ain't come out and say, like, we got into an argument. And so, you know, if you know, when people could say something without saying it. And so he told me, like, once I posted what I posted, Vaughn was mad at me. Bro, why you put up there, bro? Walter Bam. I'm like, you sitting up here, like, you know the love we got. You do this for us, but you gonna trust that his two friends? And he said, them was trying to extort him. And so I'm like, if they was trying to extort him, then why are you still around?
There may be some of the most important evidence against WW Melly since King Vaughn erred and made public information that WW Melly had wished to keep hidden a few years earlier. But will Melly be permitted to go, or do you believe he should be given a life sentence?